I find that the job that they do is so important and is so much appreciated, and given the opportunity to give back, I find that very important.
We're dealing with past trauma, we're dealing with moral injury.
They are our nation's heroes and they deserve it. They deserve a place where they can come and know that the staff cares.
My name is Tiffany Trotter. I am a case manager at Oxford Treatment Center for the Veterans Program. So my role as a case manager is very similar to what you would say maybe a social worker does. I help my patients in setting up appointments, like with the VA, if they have follow-up appointments, help them with transportation to those appointments, and discharge planning for when they get ready to go to their next level of care. So we start discharge planning at day one. The very first assessment that I do with a patient is the aftercare assessment. So that determines what their needs are, their access to resources, and what their preferences are. So we can build a discharge plan specific for that patient to fit their needs. Absolutely, yeah. My goal is for all our veterans to have follow-up appointments. If they're going back to where they came from, to have a follow-up appointment scheduled with their providers within 7 days of discharge. Now some veterans, they may need to change locations to another VA if they have a different plan, if they're not going back to their home area, and so we can do that too. Sometimes they come from, they may not have family in that home area, they may not have a lot of sober supports, so sometimes it's better for them to kind of relocate and start over another location to where they can build those supports that they need. A lot of our veterans come here and they choose to go over to our sober living, which is called Resolutions. They can have a lower level care at our Oxford Outpatient Center, stay at Resolutions for supportive sober living, and can stay for a pretty long period of time. So a lot of them choose to do that, which is great. We love to do that internal transfer so they have just a seamless transition of care. So they're going to be seeing some of the same providers that they see in inpatient they would in outpatient. So they kind of follow them and they know them. I tell them, here's where you learn the tools. Oxford Outpatient Resolutions gives you the opportunity to practice those tools. So discharge planning is important because it is vital for relapse prevention. If they don't have a plan, they're going to be more likely to fail. So the discharge plan, like I said, is a fluid document that during a veteran's treatment stay can change, just depending on what their needs are. So I just want them to have as much support as possible, and so that's why discharge planning is so important. The larger their support network, the more successful they'll be. They do have different programming options than the other population does. They do have something that they really do enjoy. They have a veterans process group. Most of them get a lot out of that process group because they're all like-minded. They've been through a lot of similar experiences, and so that is a safe place for them to share some of their trauma that they've been through because they all understand and they have that camaraderie that together. So that's a really safe and sacred place for them is that process group. I think it's important for veterans to have a dedicated program because they have challenges that a lot of other people don't. A lot of that stems from their time in service. So I think it's important that we honor that and have a program that is specific for what their needs are. I just love working with veterans because I appreciate them so much. I've had friends in the past that were in the military, one friend in particular that didn't make it back home. Very close friend of mine, and I find that the job that they do is so important and is so much appreciated, and given the opportunity to give back, I find that very important.